What is going on, guys? Samuel World, Samuel Obsessions here, back with another top 10 for you all today, and this is continuing on my series of some of my favorite movies from 1996 2022, and now we're going to talk about the 2010 decade, which has been the decade I'm excited to talk about the most. Also, I do apologize if I feel it sounding a little weird. I'm been kind of back and forth being underwater all week as I'm filming this, so a bit of mine, honestly, so I'm just gonna let you guys know. So, now talking about the best films from the 2010s decade now, which is the one I've been excited to talk about the most, honestly. So, as well as some of my favorite films are, as well I started doing YouTube, so started talking about movies more, so it's nice to look back at some of these lists, honestly, that I usually did originally, and something I definitely changed, so that's gonna be for an interesting video, so hope you enjoy. As now we're talking about are the top 10 best movies of 2010. Hope you enjoy. No need to say anymore. Just my personal opinion. I'll also know yours down below in the comment section. So let's get started. But as always, before we get to the actual top 10, let's get into the honorable mentions. And the honorable mentions are A-Team, Blue Valentine, The Crazies, Let Me In, Despicable Me, The Book of Eli, Unstoppable, Shutter Island, True Grit, and Kick-Ass. All great movies, just not make the list in general, but hope you all enjoy. So let's talk about some great movies from the 2010s decade. Kicking off the list at number 10. There was a lot of debate with my number 10, honestly. I think Kick-Ass, True Grit, and this film was definitely a debate on what was going to kick off this list. But in the end, I decided to go with Tangled. And I've always loved Tangled when it first came out, and honestly, I still do love this movie. I think it's definitely one of the best Disney movies that came out during this era, and I still do enjoy it, honestly. Again, it's a very more simple story. It's going back to that whole classic Disney princess archetype, but it does it in a more effective and a more modernized way, where Rapunzel is a very compelling character, Eugene is very likable, the horse is hilarious, Montalto is one of the best Disney villains in my opinion, and of course you got some incredible songs with I See the Light, and of course When Will Life Begin, and just great music in general, great character moments, one of the best romances in any Disney movie period, and as great as Disney as you expect. What do you want me to say? And now number 9, speaking as this is going to get, at number 9 we got a Studio Ghibli movie, and that is The Sacred Bird of Ariadne. Yeah, and another Studio Ghibli is that most of the movies are very simple in nature, but have a lot more to say, a lot more to really showcase, and it's just a beautiful movie and has some of the most breathtaking animation in any Ghibli movie. Some beautiful, likable characters, great music, likable characters, a great world that they try to explore here. The music is just amazing. The relationships, it's a film you should check out for yourself. It's beautiful, beautiful. Now at number 8, we get the film that I wasn't sure when it was going to be on the list or not, or when I was going to put it, honestly, because it's a film that I don't think has a whole lot of rewatch value, honestly, but it's a film that has a great impact that I have to put on here, and that is Black Swan. Of course, if you had to make a best 2010 list, I would have to put Black Swan here, because it is a very compelling movie that, basically is a movie that basically has really dark elements to it, it's basically the live action adaptation of Perfect Blue, which have I seen Perfect Blue, honestly? I just don't remember if I did, honestly, but that's basically the comparison to this movie, honestly, in terms of the narrative, the story, the characters, and it's very fascinating with Natalie Portman easily giving the best performance she has ever given in her entire acting career, honestly, and the emotion that she's placed here. Girl's got gorgeous and outstanding cinematography, which is something that Darren Aronofsky is definitely, despite what you want about him, definitely knows to doing very well. The costume design is great, the moments are just shocking, and oh my god, and the ending, oh my god, the ending, that alone pushes this movie to where it emanates. Now at number 7, we get to one of two DreamWorks movies to make this list, and that is Megamind. Megamind! A film I've always thought would be one of the more underappreciated DreamWorks movies, and I think a lot of people are also going to appreciate Megamind for what it is as the years went on. And yeah, I've always loved it when it first came out, and I love it even more on more rewatches. Like, it's a very simple studio narrative, honestly, about, Bill Lumby is a hero, but this time, of course, the villain actually succeeds, and what will happen, the villain actually, succeeds, actually. And considering the twists and turns that happens throughout the narrative, and a lot of the back and forth, and the way that the main villain is, and who he ends up being, and his motivations, make for a very compelling narrative, actually. Also having that great DreamWorks charm that you would expect, the interesting characters, the great voice acting, the solid animation, great music. Music will have a surprisingly emotional core, honestly, and a really great relationship between all the characters. So, yeah, Megamind, definitely one of DreamWorks' most underappreciated gems. Now we're going from an animated movie to a sports movie, and that is, of course, The Fighter. What do you want me to say about The Fighter? Yeah, it's one of the best biographical sports movies ever made, honestly, and for good reason. Again, it's done by David Russell, who has done some questionable stuff, I'm not gonna lie, but he directs the shit out of this movie, crafting a story that's just incredible, realistic, and just pouring with emotion from frame one to the end. And a lot of those thanks to the performance to Mark Wahlberg, Christian Bale, delivering top tier performances, delivering compelling characters that you really do care about, or you're really at least invested in. Some of the best boxing and sports sequences in any sports movie, period. Delivering the great drama, great cinematography, fantastic directing, gorgeous cinematography, sharp writing all around. What do you want me to say? Now, at number 5, we have another DreamWorks movie to make this list, and the start of one of the best animated trilogies and franchises of all time, and that is How to Train Your Dragon. Again, one of the best animated trilogy of all time, and a DreamWorks franchise that's so incredible, it manages to be the closest to outrival Shrek. And not even Cool Panda was able to do that, which is insane. And remember, this was a film that I'm pretty sure everyone was shocked ended up being good as it was. I'm pretty sure nobody thought How to Train Your Dragon was going to be as good as it was. Honestly, from the trailers, it's going to be like a generic dragon fantasy movie, but it really isn't. And it has a lot of the tropes that you expect, but it plays on those tropes, and it does it in a more effective way. And a lot of that is thanks to the characters, thanks to the development, the world building, the compelling narrative, the interesting characters, the music, the writing, the voice acting by the incredible voice cast that you got here, and the relationship between the characters. Like, of course, Hickap's relationship with his dad Stark, who is great developed throughout the movie, and how Stark is coming around on him, and how he treats him throughout the movie, how the people treat dragons, and how that's and then pinned greatly throughout the movie. The beautiful and gorgeous animation that still holds up very well 15 years later. The surprisingly emotional moments that happen throughout these characters, but of course, it's the relationship between Hiccup and Toothless is what elevates this trilogy. Again, one of the best human animal relationships in any movie, period. The way these characters really bounce off on each other, and the way this relationship develops, it's just beautiful, and you can't help but being so awed, especially when you first meet Toothless. Oh my god, just can't help but just And then you also got great action set pieces, really great character dynamics, just all around a perfect animated fantasy movie. That's the start of the best animated trilogy of all time. Thankfully, again, we only got three of these movies. Not gonna actually continue this franchise. I mean, we'll get a live action movie. That's kind of more of an adaptation than an actual continuation on that. So yeah, How to Train Your Dragon, fantastic. And now we get to another surprisingly amazing movie at number 4, and that is The Social Network. Yeah, who knew that David goddamn Fincher, to make a movie about the creation of Facebook. The creation of Facebook. And somehow they managed to make a compelling narrative on it. Only David Fincher can do that, and also only Aaron Sorkin, one of the best screenwriters out there, can make that be so compelling and engaging from beginning to end. And this movie has gotten a lot of appreciation as it went on. Like, it was already loved, but I see a lot of people definitely do have a lot of appreciation for this movie as the years went on. Again, despite the fact that whether or not these facts are true or not, it's still a comparing narratives, maybe from the character writing, the sharp dialogue, the fantastic performances, especially for Jesse Eisenberg and Andrew Garfield, the great directing, the great back and forth between a lot of the characters, and what goes on here. It's like, again, it's about the creation of Facebook. You made that into one of the most compelling dramas of the 2010s. I don't think I need to say anymore. Now we're at the top 3, and this push was my definitive top 3, honestly. If these top 3 are films, are probably in my all-time favorite movies, like in my top 100 movies on that list. So it wasn't easy, but I always definitely did shift a little bit from my last thought. So at number 3, we got a film that actually originally awarded my number 1, but then they really brought it down. Maybe I just not the 2, something like this is what it is. But number 3 is Inception. Probably Christopher Nolan's, aside from The Dark Knight, is Christopher Nolan's magnum opus, like a film that has basically influenced so many other movies. Like when people use the horn thing in the trailer, people not use that for a lot of modern trailers nowadays, and there's not see why Inception is the great film that it is. Like, it is a mind-bending, spellbinding movie that has some of the most impressive visuals out of any movie, period. Cinematography is great. The world building and the lore and everything in this movie is fantastic. The storytelling is immaculate. The performances, especially Leonardo DiCaprio, are fantastic. The fight sequences, the storytelling, the emotion, the ending. What do I need to say about Inception has already been said. It's an iconic movie for a reason. It's definitely in my in my top 3 favorite Nolan movies. There you go. At number 2, we have Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And yeah, before that, another film that we'll get into later on in this list, later on, this for a long time, this was my favorite Edgar Wright movie. Yeah, this was the one I loved the most, and it's by far, aside from the other one I mentioned, it's the one I definitely rewatched the most, and this is still one of the most rewatchable movies of all time. It's a very easily comfortable, digestible movie, honestly. It's a film that knows what it is and embraces it. This is where Edgar pretty much uses his style to the nth degree while telling an interesting narrative about a guy who, honestly, is kind of an asshole, but you're still invested in what's going on. Like, Sarah plays him spectacularly about a guy who basically wants to get into this girl Mono's pants by kind of our relationship, which is also makes him more of a dick. And basically has to defeat his 7 evil exes, which end up being like very diverse in terms of who the exes are. And now I think it was some many hilarious moments. My favorite one being the Vegan Police one, but everyone does stand out. Everyone has some many hilarious moments, many standout moments. The video game aesthetic makes for some very compelling and hilarious moments. Moments that are still left out hilarious. The visual effects are fantastic. The fight sequences are great. It's just a whole load of fun. One of the most fun and entertaining movies that's ever been put on the screen. And Edgar Wright is definitely the perfect person to do this movie. And I honestly cannot see what they do with this freaking anime where they have pretty much the entire cast return. So that's gonna be interesting. So, yeah, 10/10 movie. Perfection. Now we get to what I think is the number 1 best movie of 2010. This film was always in my top 3, honestly, but I think that the more I think about it, the more I think I had to put it number 1, honestly. And that film is Toy Story 3. Spoiler, by the way, this isn't going to be the only Pixar movie that's going to top this list. Yeah, I feel like that all of them pretty high in my previous list, like Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc., Incredible, but they're more in the top 3, honestly. And you guys know I love Pixar. I adore Pixar. Sorry, but Toy Story 3 has always been my favorite Toy Story movie, honestly. Even after the events of Toy Story 4, and I'm sure probably even more by Toy Story 5, I still think this is still the best Toy Story movie. It has the most emotion, the most heart, which is saying a lot, because I do love the other Toy Story movies. They're also some of my favorite anime movies of all time, so... But Toy Story 3 is perfection. It has an incredible narrative, has a great villain, and the characters put in the most interesting situations. The best laughs and the best humor, the best back and forth between a lot of these characters, the most emotion between a lot of these characters, the best messaging out of a Toy Story movie, pretty much putting a particular end to Andy's storyline, which thankfully for my did not actually going to continue in Toy Story 5 from what has been going on. Thank God on that. Thank you God on that. And just the fact that and just the message about childhood, the ending, so long partner, gets me every time. Like that scene and the incinerator scene are two of the most emotional moments in any Pixar movie. And the animation is still amazing, the music's still fantastic, the heart is still there. And this has always been the Toy Story movie I got back to the most, so it's by far my favorite of the 4 Toy Story movies against, technically 5 kind of Lightyear. So yeah, Toy Story 3 is my number 1. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed me discussing the top 10 best movies of 2010. I'd love to know down below in the comment section, what are your favorite movies of 2010? What are your favorite movies of this year? I would love to know down below in the comment section. I'm excited to continue on with this decade of films. I'm definitely very excited. So, hope you enjoy. I'm Samuel World from Samuel Productions. I'll see you next time as always. Stay cool, everybody. Peace.